Today I am in Newcastle Town in Northern Ireland, obviously, not Newcastle Town in England. I'm in Newcastle and I am about to carry out a Coast Watch survey on 500 metres of shoreline. Today is actually the last day of the survey for this year. I didn't know about it until about a week and a half ago. This is citizen science. It's something that anyone can do. I'll put a link to the Coast Watch Europe site in the doobly-doo below. If you guys want to get involved next year, then you can do that. Let's go and get out onto the shore. Newcastle, where the mountains of Mourne sweep down to the sea. So we're going to go down onto the beach and I'm going to find my starting point. Low tide's in about an hour, so I think I've timed this just right so that I should get most of it done before the tide turns, but we'll see what happens. And as always, when you're on the beach, make sure you keep an eye on the tide and you don't ever get blocked off, because you know, you can die. I'm just about at the right place on the beach now, and the first thing to do is get my survey sheet out and also my pen, which I think is in my pocket. It is. It's also a pen I got in New Zealand, by the way. Look, it's a biosecurity one. This will go much quicker if we talk and walk. The average width of the intertidal area at low tide, I'd say it's probably over 250 metres. Oh! There's loads of these little birds about. There's one climbing through the background and I'm not entirely sure what they are. I want to say there's some sort of oyster catcher. Now here's something that we need to look at. Seaweed. This here is the seagrass zostera. I'm probably not pronouncing that right, but there you go. So it's one of the things that we've been looking out for on the biodiversity part of the survey. This is a lugworm cast. Here's quite an interesting little patch. We've got an empty razor clam here, some cockle shells here, a dead shore crab. Even though these things are dead, it's still really important to tick them off on the biodiversity chart. I'm just having a little look in one of the rock pools and I have been rewarded with something, which is a little periwinkle. Look at the little crab. See over there that we've got beach and we've got rocks. There is an actual line where the surface changes. You can see that this is made up of lots of little barnacles and also little tiny mussels. Happy days, because I've managed to find an inflow in the form of the big massive river behind me that you can see, and this means that I get to do a bit of nitrate testing. Open up this. Here's the nitrate testing stick. You can see just in the end there, that's the bit that we put in the water. Woo! That was close. And now we wait. While we're waiting, I'll tell you what just happened there. I went to stand in the river and sunk right in. That was scary. A minute's over and as you can see, there's not much, well, you can't really see very well, but I'm telling you that there's a slight positive test for NO2 minus. There doesn't seem to be any NO3 minus, so that's not too bad. Right, well, I've just finished walking the 500 metre stretch and now I have to fill in all the bits of the form about litter. I'm really pleased to say that I didn't find any pieces of micro litter. It wasn't until I got up to the river and the bridge behind me that I started to see pieces of litter. A few bottles, there was some discarded clothing, bits and pieces of paper from sandwich wrappers and things like that. So guys, come on, put your litter in the bin. It's not that hard. Actually, don't even put it in the bin, put it in the recycling. It's 2013 here. Get with the program. The huge mussel bed that I showed you earlier seems to be in the area where the outflow from this river is, which could be a bit of an indicator that there is a lot of nutrients coming in from the river, not necessarily good nutrients. Mussels are filter feeders, so they'll feed on nutrients in the water. That could be why that mussel bed has sprung up where it has. That's it. I've filled in the survey. I wish I'd known about this sooner so I could have done more stretches of coast and maybe got my friends involved and stuff. This is something that anyone can do, and if you enjoy walking on the beach, or even if you don't, I'd highly recommend it. It's really worth being outside and doing a bit of good citizen science. And of course, what trip to Newcastle would be complete without an ice cream cone from Maud's?